Hi everyone, I'm Sydney. Welcome back to my channel. I am a Pokemon enthusiast and creator, and today I'm going to be talking about what to expect if you're attending your first ever Pokemon Regional. So I'm a TCG player, so this is mostly going to be geared towards TCG regionals, but it can apply for if you're playing VGC or Go as well. It's basically just me giving you some tips and tricks and what I wish I knew before attending my first regional. Before I went to my first ever Pokemon regional, I wasn't even going as a competitor, I was going as a spectator, and I was still a little intimidated because I had never been to an official Pokemon event before, and ultimately attending my first regional just as a spectator is what made me get into playing the trading card game. I figured I would just kind of talk you guys through how to prepare and kind of go back and reflect on what I would do now if I was a new Pokemon player entering the TCG. Next weekend is the Atlanta Regionals, which I sadly will not be attending, but I know a lot of people who are, so I will be rooting them on from home, watching the stream, listening to the stream in the car because I'll be on my way to Chicago Collecticon. I think it'll be a really awesome regional because it is the day of rotation, so there will be a lot of new decks, a lot of new builds, and I am very curious to see how that goes. So if you're attending that regional or any other regionals this season, I hope this helps you feel more prepared in some way. First, I'm going to be telling you guys what to bring with you to a regional. I generally bring the same thing to any Pokemon event that I attend, and that is my deck, at least one deck. You can totally bring a backup deck if you want to just play something else for fun in between rounds or even after the event concludes. You want to bring dice and damage counters. Even ability used markers can be very helpful for you and for your opponent. You want to bring a play mat as well, just to make it easier for you to place your cards and grab your cards and keep everything in a very organized space. You also want to bring backup sleeves in case any of your sleeves rip or split. You don't want to be stuck in a situation where you can't play or you have to re-sleeve your entire deck with a box of new sleeves because you can't find a spare that matches the ones that you already have. I also highly recommend bringing either a trade binder or a little box with cards that you want to trade, because a lot of people at these events are going to be interested in trading cards. So if you have duplicates of cards that you don't want, or just cards in general that you don't want necessarily for your collection, definitely bring those with you because they could be something that somebody is searching high and low for, and they could have something really good that you do want to trade them for. So I'm going to show you guys what I bring to my tournament. This is the bag that I'm using currently. It is from Pokemon Center. I just got really lucky and I bought it right when it went on sale, and I didn't even know. I just got on Pokemon Center and I was looking for a backpack to put all of my Pokemon things in, and it was there, and I was like, that's real cute. So I got it, and I'm pretty sure it sold out very fast. So I don't know where to find it. You can probably find it on eBay or Mercari now. It's just the Evolutions Pixel Pin backpack. Most of these pins are from Pokemon Center as well. So this is the bag that I use now. When I first started, I did not have this bag. I carried all of my stuff in just an oversized canvas tote bag. I think it was a Taylor Swift Eras Tour tote bag. I was trying to find it so I could show you guys, and I don't know where it is. That's what I used when I first started. And then once I started consistently going to tournaments, I was like, okay, I want to get something a little easier to carry around. The backpack is definitely where it's at. It does not have to be a Pokemon official backpack. You can use whatever kind of backpack you want, but it's definitely a lot easier than carrying a tote bag around. This is my playmat that I currently have. I am obsessed with this playmat. I did not go to EYC in 2023, but I purchased this on eBay after months and months of wishing I had it, because it's my complete aesthetic. If I was gonna spend money on any playmat, it was this one. So it's the Evolutions playmat from NAIC, and obviously it comes with a little matching sleeve, and it does have a carabiner on it too that you can attach to your bag. I don't attach it to my bag, I just put it in my bag because I don't like it flopping around when I'm walking with my backpack. I really wish I could remember what my first playmat was. I genuinely don't remember, but there are so many different types of playmats you can get. You can find them usually at your local game stores. You can get them on Pokemon Center. I actually just bought this one literally 3 days ago and it showed up the next day. I don't know how it got here so fast, but I just bought this one off Pokemon Center. is this really cute new playmat, and they did have a matching like damage counter dice holder and sleeves and a deck box. You can find really cute playmats and accessories on the Pokemon Center website. Usually, like if you go to regionals, you'll find a lot there as well. So there's lots of options. And then also if you attend cups, regionals, whatever, and you get like higher placements, you can also get these really awesome champion playmats. Or if you're lucky enough to get top 8 or better at a regional, they do have like top 8, top 4 finalist champion playmats at regionals too. So that's something really cool that you can work towards at cups. Lots of options as far as playmats go. You also obviously want to bring a deck. Even if you're just going to an event as a spectator, I highly encourage you, if you're interested in playing the card game, to just bring one with you, because there are lots of side events that you can take part in if you have a deck on you. If you're just starting out, a really cool thing that you can do is just use like a booster bundle box. So if you've bought a booster bundle recently, you'll see that there are these little boxes in there that hold the packs, and these are actually perfect size to hold a 60 card deck, so you can use those. They also have them in some of the like premium collection boxes. So this is the one from the Terapagos premium collection box. There is one in the 151 Mew collection box. You know, there's going to be one in the EV premium collection box coming out, but that's amazing if you're lucky enough to get one of those for like face value. One of my favorite places to get deck boxes and sleeves is Mecha Japan. They have really awesome Japanese products. I think they're a lot cuter than what they have on the US Pokemon Center. I got this Sylveon deck box last year and it is my absolute favorite. It's really good quality. It has like suede on the inside, so it does not damage your card sleeves. So there's lots of options as far as different deck boxes that you can use. Like I was saying, you want to have something to hold all of your dice and damage counters. So again, for beginners, something like this is really, really good to use. Obviously, I know things are crazy right now and it is not as easy to find some of these things like at Target or at Walmart like you used to be able to, but usually if you go to like your local card store or, you know, any sort of like card show, you'll be able to find these, like even just by themselves without cards in them. Like vendors will be selling them. So this is perfect for holding dice and damage counters. And again, on places like Mecha Japan, Pokemon Center, you can find really cool ones too. I'm gonna try to show you the inside of this without everything spilling out, but let's see. This is what I have. Hopefully it will focus. Let me see. There we go. It has dice, damage counters, and then these really cute ability use markers that I use whenever I, you know, use an ability. So I will put a link to where I got most of this stuff in my description, by the way. Those markers are from Abby Dazzle on Etsy. She was just selling those on her site, on her shop at the time, but I think she takes custom orders as well. I don't know if she still is, but that's where I got those. I highly recommend bringing a trade binder with you. So this is my current trade binder. I just moved all of my stuff into this one. I used to have like a Mimikyu Pikachu one, but it was the same kind of like general setup. But this is just where I put everything. Can you tell we opened a lot of Journey together? This is where I put everything that I am willing to trade. So there's no rhyme or reason to like how you have to organize it. Right now I have mine organized with all of the Journey Together stuff in the front since it's so new and that's what a lot of people are looking for. But I just have various things in here. My trade binder isn't super stacked right now. There's nothing too crazy. It's just literally miscellaneous stuff. I am selling cards at a card show at the end of this month and I'm kind of trying to hold on to a lot of my stuff to sell at that show. I just went to a challenge on Monday and I was able to trade a lot of things in this binder for a lot of things that I needed. So even if you think that, you know, you're putting cards in here that people aren't going to be interested in, you literally never know. You never know what somebody else is looking for. They could be trying to finish a master set. They could be looking for stuff for their GLC deck. If you have anything that you feel like you want to trade, it is worth putting in your trade binder. And last but not least, this is something I forgot to mention at the beginning, something that I find very important to take with me to especially like cups and regionals, but you can take them to whatever, league, challenges, anything, is a little table buddy. The sitting cuties, in my opinion, are the best for this because they're gonna, obviously, they're weighted on the bottom, so they're gonna sit up. You don't have to worry about them falling over, and they're just perfect size. So they're not gonna get in your way, they're not gonna get in your opponent's way. But I love bringing a little table buddy with me just as like moral support during my matches. I always bring one with me to regionals. I think I've brought a different one with me every time because I can never decide. So I just kind of rotate through them, but definitely recommend bringing a table buddy with you. And especially for cups and regionals where you're gonna have a pretty long day, you wanna make sure that you are bringing snacks with you. You wanna make sure you're bringing water. At regionals, at the convention centers, there are places to get food and water, but it is expensive. I always bring a protein bar, at least 2 protein bars. I'll bring protein chips. I try not to bring anything that's super sugary or carby that doesn't have a lot of protein in it. And then bring 1 or 2 bottles of water, or just a really big bottle of water so that you stay hydrated. I personally have to have some caffeine at the beginning of the day too, or my brain will not function. If you're a coffee drinker, drink your coffee in the morning, but stay hydrated as well and drink your water while you are in the tournament. So definitely make sure you're taking care of yourself, drinking your water, eating your snacks, and you'll have the best experience possible. Especially at regionals, like you'll think you have time to go get food, and then the concession line is like 50 people long, and by the time you get to the front of the line, it's time for the next round. Definitely plan ahead, be prepared, and make sure you have snacks. It's so easy at the beginning of the day to be like, oh, I'll be fine, like I'll just get something in concessions, whatever. No, bring snacks with you because the day gets crazy for sure. I always highly recommend getting to the venue on day 1 when it opens if you can, because you never know what's gonna happen on your way to the venue. You never know if you're gonna forget something. The person you're with is gonna forget something. You have to go back to the hotel and grab something. It is much better to be early than to be late, because if you are late at a regional, you're kind of screwed. That is not a good way to start the day. I like to get there early, know that I'm prepared. It just helps me mentally feel so much better and feel like I'm ready to compete rather than arriving stressed out, overwhelmed because I was running late and I forgot something and wasn't sure if I was even gonna make it for round 1. Just be on time, be prepared, make sure you turn in your deck list the night before. Do not wait until the morning of. Some people are crazy and submit their deck list the morning of. I would not be able to sleep at night knowing that I still haven't submitted my deck list. I would be so terrified of oversleeping and like not submitting it on time. Please, please submit your deck list the night before and triple check that your list matches what is in your deck box. Triple, quadruple check. Don't mess around with it. I always advise arriving the night before if you can. Get there on day 0. You can show up to the convention center, get signed in, get your wristbands, get a lay of the land, know where everything is, know where the TCG tables are, so that way when you get there on day 1, you don't have to figure out where everything is. You don't have to like worry about navigating the whole convention center. You've already got your wristband, you know where everything's at, you're good to go. You can go straight to the TCG tables and you'll be ready to compete. I personally like to know what deck I'm playing at least a week before the tournament. I know I've seen where people have like 2 or 3 decks that they're going between literally up until the night before the tournament. I cannot deal with that. My brain doesn't work that way. Even if I feel like I know more than one deck really well, just going from playing like 3 different decks and trying to figure out which one I want to play to the next day competing in this giant tournament with just one of those decks, I feel like is not the move, because you want to have to like think as minimally as possible when you're competing in a regional. You don't want to have to sit there and try to like work out in your head how many of a certain card you run in your deck, you know, what your lines are. You want your deck to feel like a well-oiled machine that you could play in your sleep, essentially. Obviously, you need to like put a lot of work into that to get to that point, and you're going to need to think a lot during the tournament, but the less you have to like stress out about making certain decisions with your deck because you know it so well, front and back, like literally like the back of your hand, the better you're gonna do. Know that sometimes things just happen. You could do amazingly well at your locals, and then when you get to regional, have like the worst run of your life. It's happened to me. I historically do not have a great track record at regionals. I'll be the first to admit it. I do really, really well typically at locals, and then when I go to regional, it's like that all goes out the window. But I don't beat myself up because I know that I put in a lot of preparation. I did the best that I could do, and sometimes there are things that are just out of your control. For example, I played Cloth to Toronto. I thought it was the move. Cloth was really well positioned. I knew that one of its worst matchups was Gardevoir, unless of course you're able to get a donk on them. I knew there wouldn't be a ton of people playing Gardevoir at this tournament because it was not very well positioned. So I knew my chances of hitting it were not, impossible, but they were low. So I went into it feeling pretty good. And my first 5 rounds of day 1, I hit 3 Gardevoirs. For reference, when they showed the day 1 meta share on the graphic on the Pokemon stream, there were so few people playing Guardy that it didn't even make the main day 1 page of the graphic. They put it on best of the rest. That's how few people were playing Guardy, and I hit 3 of them in the first 5 rounds. And I think out of all of those games, so there were 9 games total, I was able to get 1 donk. So yeah, sometimes things just happen. So just prepare as much as you can, know your matchups. If you make mistakes, it happens. Everybody makes mistakes. Just learn from it. Don't beat yourself up. Just take them with you, and know what you could have done better next time. I also highly recommend having a meeting spot with your group if you go with people. That way after rounds, you know exactly where to meet, because sometimes you get really shoddy phone service in the venue because there's so many people and you're literally just in this giant concrete building. You know where you'll be no matter what. It's just easier to catch up in between rounds that way. Say you don't make day 2. Say that your run is over at the end of day 1. Do you go home? Do you come back the next day? What do you do? Whenever you have the chance to stay for the rest of the tournament and to stay for day 2, I highly recommend it. There are so many side events you can do that are so much fun. I really like participating in the day 2 cup as long as I don't hate my deck by the end of day 1, or bring backup decks with you so that you have more options to play other decks if you want. Side events are a great way to earn some extra prize wall tickets, and you can trade those prize wall tickets in for really, really good prizes. I got a Loungefly purse once. I've gotten sitting cuties. This, I know it's blurred out. It's the little Eevee figure, the fall one. I've gotten a ton of packs from the prize wall. There's lots of stuff you can get, and it's a lot of fun just to play in all the different events. There's little pods that you can do. There's pack battles. Definitely take advantage of those if you're around for day 2. It's also so much fun to just sit and watch the players in the finals, especially if you get the chance to sit and watch the finals, even of a regional. It is so much fun. I was there in Toronto I was so mad because we literally stayed for the semifinals, and then we left before finals because I was just exhausted, and I was like, guys, I really don't want to sit here for a Regidrago mirror match. And then that was the one where Cal Connor ended up winning on the coin flip for Swinging Spin. I was so mad we didn't stay for that because I would have lost my mind if I saw that happen live. So if you get the chance to stay and watch finals, I highly recommend because it's really, really fun. Another one of my favorite parts about going to regional is going on day 0 and looking at all the vendor tables and seeing what kind of cards they have, seeing what plushies they have. It is the spot to get plushies. They have every single Pokemon plushie and sitting cutie you could think of. They have every single card you could think of. If you're trying to bling out your deck, that is the place to do it. If you have cards to sell, that is the place to do it. You can find some really, really cool, unique stuff there that is hard to even find online. Even on day 1, in between rounds, you can check it out because sometimes on day 0, the tables can be real crowded because people are trying to find specific cards for their decks. On day 1, it's a little bit more chilled out, and a lot of times in between rounds, especially if I finish up pretty early, I'll just go check out the vendor tables because there's new stuff coming in now every day as people are selling things, buying things. So definitely recommend checking those out because you can find some really awesome stuff. I highly recommend booking a hotel or an Airbnb that is close to the venue. I know that obviously it's a little bit pricier to get a place close to the venue, but a lot of times it kind of evens out. If you're not staying in a place that's walking distance, you're more than likely having to either drive or take an Uber, and then you're having to pay for parking or you're having to pay for an Uber. Just the convenience of being able to walk back and forth to and from the hotel is really, really nice. It takes so much stress out. It is so worth getting a hotel close to the venue, like walking distance, if at all possible. Try to take some time to like go out and explore the city that you're in. If you have time to like go out and just explore and kind of sightsee in whatever city you're in, I highly recommend it. A lot of the cities that I've attended regionals in this past year, I've never visited before, and it was really cool getting to check out these cities and see what they had to offer. Baltimore, I probably would have never gone to Baltimore if it wasn't for the regional, and we ended up walking around a little bit, finding a place to eat dinner, and it was a really cool city. Like, I loved the vibes there, and I never would have thought that. I would have never thought that I would have enjoyed Baltimore as much as I did. Also, San Antonio, that was such a cool place. I've always heard that San Antonio was really cool, but getting to actually explore and walk around and check out the Riverwalk, especially with all these friends that I made that I would have never met otherwise if I wasn't playing Pokemon and traveling to these regionals, it is just such an awesome, like, special, unique experience that I like cannot compare to anything else. So try to not go back to your hotel at the end of day one and mope and sulk if you didn't make day two. Get out there, go meet up with your friends, check out the city, and just have fun, because a lot of times I feel like that ends up being my favorite part of going to a regional. Try to connect with people and make some friends who are in the TCG community before going to a regional, if you're going by yourself or even if you're going with people, because that's been one of my favorite parts of playing the TCG is just the community and the friendships that I've made through it. I've made a lot of my TCG friends through Twitter or X, and literally just like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, how did we even like start talking? And just from being active and, you know, communicating and responding to people and not being afraid to put my opinions out there when it comes to Pokemon and tweeting about my experiences, and everyone is just so open to like making friends and talking, and it's just such a like non-judgmental community, and I've met some really, really cool people. So if you have the chance to like make any friends or connections on social media in any way beforehand, I highly recommend it, because then you can meet up with them at regionals, have some people to hang out with and talk to, and it makes the experience so much more fun. Another thing, this is like a very niche thing, but it does need to be said. Wear comfortable shoes, because there was one time that I wore this pair of shoes that were really, really cute, and I thought they were gonna be comfortable. They were not comfortable. They were brand new. I hadn't broken them in yet, and even though you are sitting for most of the day, a lot of times you do have to walk like pretty far distances to get from table to table, or if you have to go to the bathroom, or if you have to go out and get food, whatever. So make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes, because you don't want to be miserable at the end of the day because your feet hurt so bad that you can't like focus on your games even. So make sure you wear comfy shoes, preferably not brand new shoes, because you want to make sure that you're comfortable. That's like the biggest thing. Wear a cute outfit, wear whatever's gonna make you feel confident and good about yourself so that you're, you know, playing to the best of your ability, but wear comfortable shoes. Okay, this goes more for guys than girls, because the girls don't really have this issue at regionals, but when you arrive to the venue, scope out where all the bathrooms are. Not just the bathrooms that are close to like where the TCG area is, but like all the bathrooms in the venue, because the men's bathrooms, the lines get crazy. Women's bathrooms, you can go right in, you're good. But the men's restrooms, the lines get so long. I do not know how you guys do it. More often than not, if you see a bathroom with a really long line, it is going to take a shorter amount of time to walk across the convention center and go to one with no line than it is to stand in that insanely massive long line, and that bathroom's probably going to be gross, so it's probably not in your best interest to use that one anyway. So that's just something I needed to point out. Know where all the bathrooms are. Okay, well, we all want to believe that our opponents are going to be awesome and fair and morally correct. It's not always the case, and we have to remember that we are at a regional. The stakes are very high. People are trying to win $10,000 and a pass to Worlds, and some people are going to be shiesty. So when you're not actively in your turn, really pay attention to your opponent. Make sure you're watching their hands. Make sure you're watching their eyes. Do not let them stack. Do not let them do anything shady. And don't be afraid to call a judge. Not even just like while they're playing, but if they're, you know, if they do something that you don't agree with and you're not 100% sure if that was a legal move, don't be afraid to call a judge. The judges are there for a reason. Obviously don't call a judge like every 5 seconds over every single thing, but if something's like not sitting right with you and you feel like there should be a different scenario, don't even think about it, just call a judge. I can't even tell you how many times in the past year I wish I would have called a judge. My gut literally tells me, that doesn't seem right. I should probably call a judge for like some clarity on this. And then I don't. And then I go tell my friends about it later and they're like, dude, Sydney, you should have called a judge. Like they should not have been able to do that. And then I'm like, I know I should have called a judge, but like, I hate conflict. I hate confrontation. And that's the thing. I need to not look at it like that. It's not conflict. Maybe it's a little bit of confrontation, but like, it just has to be done sometimes. Like you can't let people be shady. So please don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. I know, especially if you're a girl playing the TCG, it can be scary because most of the time you're playing against a guy and you don't want to be like that girl who's like being annoying and blah, blah, blah. But like, who cares? I'm over it. I don't care anymore. I'll call a judge if something's weird. And they're not always gonna rule in your favor. It might not always be something that necessarily like warranted a judge call, but I would rather be safe than sorry and not have to question it later in the day and be like, would my record or would my run have been a lot different if I would have just called a judge? Probably. So when in doubt, call a judge. And I know this sounds so cheesy and cliche, but at the end of the day, just have fun. Just don't get too stressed out about winning or doing well. If it's your first regional, you're probably not gonna do well. You're probably not going to have the best run of your life, but that is okay. Just kind of get into the flow of how it works. Think of it as a learning experience and just do your best, because even if you don't do super well, you're still gonna have a lot of fun. You're still gonna learn a lot, and it's just gonna kind of open your eyes to a whole new layer of playing the TCG that you didn't really even know existed. Just be proud of yourself for even going and signing up and being willing to compete in a tournament of that scale, because it is not easy. It is not for the weak. At the end of the day, have fun, enjoy what you're doing, be confident in yourself, be confident in your deck, and just know that you're going to do the absolute best that you can. If you got all the way through this video, thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate if you could like, comment, and subscribe. I have more TCG content coming soon. I will be at Milwaukee Regionals, and I'm so excited. That's gonna be my first regional since starting this channel, and I'll definitely be documenting the whole thing. But if you have any questions for me about attending a regional or a bigger event, any comments about anything I said or anything you agree or disagree with, let me know. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be back with some more videos soon. Bye.